KB. I used to do a lot of gaming. I used to do a little bit of everything, really, from gaming to highlights, NBA, to reporting, to Fortnite, to a little bit of everything, man. So now, you guys, I am back. I am officially back with a schedule, and I will be doing mostly fantasy football for you guys. Waiver wire, who you should pick up, who you should drop. I'll be doing predictions on Saturdays, and I'll probably be posting my upset of the week on Sundays. But for the most part, you guys just gotta stay tuned. Like I said, man, I am back. It's your boy Sportinwithkb. I haven't made a video on here since about October because I was trying to see where I wanted to go with this channel, and now I found it, and it's fantasy football. So with that being said, let's get to it. Yo, so let's get to my first target. We got Darin Thompson. Damian Williams is out, or he probably should be out. I don't know for sure. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. Whatever. LaShawn McCoy, he's also hurt. So Damian Williams he has a knee contusion. He might not play. He mixed practice today. LaShawn McCoy is also nursing an injury as well. So Darin Thompson, if he's not gone, he's most likely gone, and he's most likely have been gone. If you guys have been paying attention to the waiver wire and seeing kind of like what Darin Thompson did in the preseason, he probably should have already been on your roster. So if he is available, by the time this video is over, go pick him up now. Reason being is because he's going to be the #1 running back for sure. There's no question. If LaShawn McCoy is hurt and Damian Williams is hurt, even if they play, they might be limited. And you know, with having Tyreek Hill gone, that they're going to look for another weapon. And I don't know if they're going to go running back committee if they have 2 out of the 3 guys hurt. One of them is going to get a lot of carries. One of them is going to get a lot of touches. So Darin Thompson is somebody that you don't necessarily start right away, but you do pick him up off the waiver wire and expect big things in the coming weeks. For my next guy is John Brown. He had 7 receptions, at least 7 receptions in the past 2 weeks. If I'm not mistaken, he had 123 yards and a touchdown in week 1, and he had 72 yards and a touchdown in week 2. He's the #1 receiver in the offense with a improved Josh Allen. He will play Miami twice and the Giants again, so his stock is trending. The Bills have a really good schedule left. Of course, they have the Patriots, and that's probably when you won't play Josh Brown because he'll be against Stephen Gilmore, and Gilmore is like a lockdown corner. So, yeah, John Brown is the guy that you would pick up in case the guys from Kansas City are gone, which is most likely by the time this video drops. Robinson is gone, and Hartman is probably already gone too. So John Brown is probably a guy that you want to pick up as well for the Bills. He's been averaging at least 7 catches and at least 9 targets a game. So pick up John Brown. As far as my next waiver wire pickup that I want you guys to get is the Packers defense. They are rostered in only 7.1% of the teams on the ESPN Fantasy app. They're ranked #4 and have managed to average 11 points a game. They also forced Kirk Cousins to 2 interceptions last week, and they forced a couple of fumbles. Now, Dalvin Cook did get 187 yards, but the thing with the Packers is that they average 11 points. What that basically means is that you break even. I don't know how you guys' fantasy league works, but as for me in my fantasy league, it starts off with 10 points. So if the Packers play all game and they at least average what they're supposed to start off with, that is a good defense in my opinion. Because sometimes defenses can give you -8, they can give you -4, they can give you 3, and you needed 12 from somewhere. Count on the Packers to at least get you double digits. So in that aspect, if you don't have a starting defense, if you don't have the Chicagos and the Rams and the Titans, Go get the Packers. Like I said, they're ranked number 4. They create a bunch of turnovers. So the Packers are probably an option that not a lot of people are talking about. And I don't understand, but, you know, pick up the Packers. As far as my next guy, it's Mason Rudolph. His only interception last week when he took over for Ben Roethlisberger was a tip pass from Dante Moncrief, which I don't know why in the hell he's starting over James Washington. James Washington is talented. James Washington had 3 catches of over 30 yards. James Washington played with Mason Rudolph at Oklahoma State. So, if James Washington plays and starts with Mason Rudolph, if he plays and starts with Rudolph, Rudolph will be trending high. Rudolph has Juju. Rudolph has Connor. And if Connor is hurt, he has Jalen Samuels. And if he has, after that, he has Vance McDonald. And after that, they have a O-line, which is probably the top 5 O-lines in the league, really. So, Mason Rudolph is a guy that you want to get. He's probably available because I don't think nobody is really believing in Rudolph for some odd reason, and I'm not sure why. He had a hell of a preseason. James Washington can possibly be his target, and, you know, maybe James Washington might be a guy you get. Who knows? But for the most part, Mason Rudolph is a guy that you might want to pick up, okay? For the next, so in case you don't get none of those guys that I named, you probably want to get guys, Daniel Jones. He's a rookie quarterback. He went 29 for 34 for 416 yards with 2 interceptions and averaged 12.2 yards per attempt. He led all quarterbacks with 137.3 passer rating in preseason. Now, we're saying it's preseason, but at the same time, there are a lot of guys that start off with the preseason and then they end up being good in the NFL season. There's a lot of guys that take jobs in preseason and then go to the regular season and then they're week 1 starters. So, perfect example of that is Derek Carr. Derek Carr played the Seattle Seahawks and got 3 touchdowns against their #1 defense. He goes to week 1 and he starts for the rest of the season. Derek Carr has been the starter since. Daniel Jones had one heck of a preseason as well. Eli Manning had some sort of a good preseason. He only threw for 13 passes. They treated him like he was going to be the #1 quarterback. I don't know what the Giants were really thinking as far as sitting Daniel Jones, other than the fact that they wanted them to learn from Eli Manning, but I'm not sure if Eli Manning is teaching anything, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of just don't get that. You know, Eli Manning does know the game of football, but he doesn't strike me as a guy that would go on as a mentor. So, you know, Giants are loyal to Eli, and you totally understand he brought them 2 Super Bowl rings, but talent is talent. For my next guy, it'll be Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel. If you missed out on the top guys, these are the guys that I'm naming for you. You know what I'm saying? Notice I didn't pick, other than Darin Thompson, the guys that I'm naming are guys that are probably available right now. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of did it on purpose. What I'm doing is waiver wire sleepers. Some people that you might not have heard of, you know, and some people that might be available right now. So with that being said, Deebo Samuel, he has 7 targets to go along with 5 catches, and he also had 2 carries with the Niners. Now, the Niners don't have a for sure #1 wide receiver, so somebody got to get them targets. Deebo Samuel looks like the best receiver, and he has not been hurt. Dante Pettis always hurt. Marcus Goodwin is eventually going to be hurt. You know, God forbid something happened to them, but you know, their careers, the way their career looks, it is injury prone. They're prone to injury. So with that being said, seeing that Deebo Samuel touched the ball at least 9 times last game, it was a breakout game. Maybe Kyle Shanahan sees that, and then he goes and he gets Deebo Samuel and he puts him in the lineup as the starter, and they continue to feature him as a #1 receiver because they need one. They don't have one. So for the most part, Deebo Samuel, if you don't get John Brown, he's a guy that you want to pick up. As far as do not pick up off the waiver wire is Teddy Bridgewater. Do not get Teddy Bridgewater. And the reason being is because Sean Payton said he might start or he might implement 2 quarterbacks into his lineup. I don't know what that means, but that is scary. If you have a #1 quarterback before you get a waiver wire, Teddy Bridgewater is not that guy. Do not do it. Even the fact that Jared Cook's numbers go up with Teddy Bridgewater is still not a guy that you want to mess with. I'm warning you, don't do it. So with that being said, man, that was my video, man. My first video back in a long time, guys. So that is me, Sportinwithkb. Like and subscribe. You know, hit the little button to the right, and I'll be back with more videos. That was my waiver wire sleepers. So with that, I'm out of here. Peace.